Hey, I'm Jay from the Kubz Scouts. Welcome back to another episode of reacting to these true story animations. I have one video that we are going to react to in today's episode. I know I react to like 2 or 3. Maybe we will. I don't know yet. But this story that we're going to react to is pretty ridiculous. Dare I say it's Alabama ridiculous. We are going to check it out right now. If you guys cool down, you down with that? Everybody get ready and buckle up, because here we go! This video is from Storytime Animated, and shout out to them again for giving me full permission to react to their content. The video is called I Did Not Know My Girlfriend Was My Sister. I mean, all right, here we go.
I met Sarah was at a college party. I was helping myself to some fruit punch when she approached me. I have no clue why she walked up to me. I was this shy, awkward kid who had barely even spoken to a girl before. But then we started chatting, and next thing I knew, we were dating.
Sexting.
It felt so right being with her. She was so kind and funny, and I loved her. It was towards our last year at college that I really started to think about marrying her.
What?
Now, Sarah wasn't exactly the open type of girl. She never told me about her past or about her family. All I knew was that she grew up in Kansas like me.
I don't know why I'm smiling right now. Maybe it's because that beat was pretty cool in the beginning of the video and maybe, made me feel a little excited. But I don't know. I feel like this is going to be one of those funny stories that we're just going to be ha-haing at. Hopefully I'm right and future Jay applauds me for being right, but let's continue.
And she went to college because that's what her mom wanted her to do. I didn't even meet her mom until our 2nd year anniversary. Of course, as soon as my own mom heard I managed to get a girlfriend, she immediately called, insisting we have dinner together.
Imagine what kind of loser you have to be to finally get a girlfriend, only to find out that your girlfriend was your sister the entire time. Damn.
We all had dinner together, myself, Sarah, and my mom. My dad had left the family long ago.
Oof.
All I had of him was this old picture. I was only 6 years old, and he was holding me in his lap.
That does not look like a 6-year-old picture. Maybe 16. He looks like he's a grown man with a driver's license right now, sitting on daddy's laps like he's Santa Claus.
He always wore a suit and tie, and his black hair was peppered with gray.
You mean his gray hair was peppered with black?
He looked so big and protective. He held me so tight. But my mom told me he had cheated on her and had left her to raise me as a single mother. I always hated my dad for that. Sarah and I lived happily together for a couple of years. We had all the same interests.
Same
painting,
genetics,
hiking, watching
same
movies
chromosomes.
late at night. But no matter how close we got, I always felt she was holding something back. Every now and then, I would slide in a question casually to try and pry at least a little bit of information from her. Where's your dad? How come you never talk about your family? But I would always get the same sly response.
How come she's just looking at him? This whole story, I don't think she's opened her mouth once. I think the first thing that she's gonna say in this video is, "I'm your sister, mister."
I'll tell you another
never
time,
mind.
she would tease.
Okay, she did open her
I
mouth.
loved her so much, so I learned to live with all the secrecy.
What?
And then came that fateful night.
Uh-oh.
I had bought her a ring. I was broke, so I could only afford a small diamond ring.
Broke
But still,
bitch.
I was going to
Broke bitch
propose.
problems.
There was no doubt in my mind. I wanted to marry Sarah.
All right, let's get it,
I
dude.
planned on proposing
Let's
to
see
her
how
at
he's
her
gonna
house.
propose.
We normally had
Come on,
date
bro,
night
boy.
at hers, since her mother never seemed to mind. We ordered pizza, put on a movie, while the ring rested in the back pocket of my pants.
Okay.
I was so nervous I couldn't even focus
go.
on the movie. While cowboys strutted around and gunshots sounded, I was imagining how I would get down on one knee. Would she say yes? Would she get mad at how ordinary it was? I wasn't the
little sound
romantic
effects in
kind
the
of
background.
guy. Surely she would appreciate the sentiment. As these thoughts raced through my head, Sarah leaned against me, oblivious. Then the movie came to an end. This was it. This was my cue.
All right, let's see how
My
this
hand
guy
fumbled
does it.
in my back pocket, and I was about to pull out the ring when Sarah spoke. I want to tell you something,
Uh-oh.
she said nervously.
Here we go.
What is it? I asked.
Sweet
I was slightly
home
annoyed by the
Alabama!
interruption, but I could tell this was serious. I felt my stomach jolt. In the 3 years since we'd been together, she had never mentioned her father before.
Faja?
Not a single word. And now she was
Faja?
going to tell me something.
Why now,
something
though?
important. I focused all my attention onto her.
Me too.
I know
Laser
you want
focus.
to know, said Sarah. And it's not fair that I kept this from you for so long. But it's time I told you. What? I said curiously.
Why do I feel awkward right now?
My father left us years ago. My mom still doesn't really know who he was. He just sort of came into her life, then left as soon as I was born. I remained silent. For her, this was a lot to share.
Come on.
Sarah leaned
Drop
over,
the bomb.
rummaging through a drawer in her desk.
Drop the family bomb.
She pulled out a photograph, its edges rough with age. This is the only picture I have of him. It was taken on the day I was born.
Come on.
She flipped the picture so I had a clear view of her father.
Gray with a little bit of black sprinkles on his
Gasped.
head. Let's
Because
go!
in the photo, holding a seemingly newborn Sarah was my father. He had the same peppered black hair, the same
Bro,
suit
you've been
and tie.
smashing your
He looked
sister,
younger than the
dude.
photo I had of him, but there was
You've been nailing your sister, bro. Yo. Bro, he's been nailing. He's been nailing his sister, dude. I love seeing other people's misery. I love it.
He had the same peppered black hair, the same suit and tie. He
The
looked
same
younger than in the
suit and
photo
tie.
I had of him, but
That's
there was
crazy.
no mistaking
In
it.
both pictures.
This was my
How?
father.
Sense? That makes
Which
none.
meant Sarah and I were siblings. Well, half siblings, but still.
Half siblings, but still, you know?
This
it's only
changed
half
everything.
wrong. It's only half
My-
wrong and totally right. This dude really tried to tell us that they're half siblings before he's like, no, but still, you know, I was in her guts, but still, you know, it's just half though. Half in her guts.
This was my father. Which meant Sarah and I were siblings. Well,
Half siblings.
Half siblings,
So it's
but
kind
still.
of okay.
This changed everything. My girlfriend was my sister. Obviously, I had not reacted as Sarah had expected me to. I probably looked crazy as this realization struck me.
Okay, let's keep it real 1 second. I have a question for everybody right now. You can answer in the comments if you want to, because I will be checking what you guys have to say. But let's just say you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, and later on you find out they're your half sibling. How would you react? I feel like most people would be devastated. They would probably be sick to the stomach. They'd probably be like brushing their teeth, brushing their tongues, throwing up in the toilet for about 30 minutes. I don't know. I don't know how they would react. But me, I don't know. I don't know how I would react. I think I would probably faint. I think that I would probably take a sip of my green tea and then faint. Or, I don't know. I feel like I would just be completely broken inside. And it would take a long time for me to recover.
But I couldn't help it. This was a crazy discovery. Sarah was my half-sister.
Can you
What did
just say
this
sister?
mean?
It doesn't matter
Should
if
I
it's
tell
half.
her? I immediately shrank away from the thought, as I knew our relationship would never be the same if she found out. But I had a duty to tell her. This was life-changing.
Wait. I was half paying attention, just like that's his half sister. But he knows that they're brother and sister, and she doesn't? Ew! He's sick! He's still smiling, this man is sick! He's not gonna tell her! Ew! Bro! This ain't even bro code, dude. This is just nasty. This is not right.
Loved her so much, and I knew this would
is
damage
not
the
legal
love we
in,
shared.
like, 49 states,
All
I
thoughts
bet.
of proposing went out the window. I had to think about this. I gotta go home, I told her abruptly.
She's like, but you
Oh.
live here.
Okay, she replied in surprise. I hated the hurt look on her face, but I had to get out of there. My mind couldn't process it all at once. I left her house quickly, yelling a short goodbye. The way I saw it, there were two choices. Tell Sarah and ruin our relationship, or keep my mouth shut.
What in the actual ass?
Keep your mouth shut. I have both hands on my hips right now. Keep your mouth shut. As soon as that knowledge is sprinkled on top of your head like nut dust, you just let it be known that whoever you're with, you be like, hey, you know, you're my brother. You're my sister. And I don't mean that in like we're close kind of way. I mean that we got the same DNA type of way. Like, let's just see what this man's gonna get into, because this is actually getting interesting.
And live a happy life with Sarah. The latter was much more appealing. But then I realized I was panicking
This
over
dude acts
nothing.
like she's the only girl
Sarah
in the world.
didn't have to know. Why should she?
I mean,
we
that's
never
his
grew
only
up
sister
together.
in the world.
We met when
She's
we
not the
were in our
only girl in the
20s and
world.
fell in love. Who cared if we had the same father? I walked back home with the decision set in my mind.
Let me pause the video real quick. Look into my eyes. Editing J. Can we get a zoom in real quick? Closer? Closelier? Not that close because everybody can see my pimples. Little zoom out. There you go. What the hell, man?
I would keep this little secret to myself. It was for the best. A year passed and nothing came up about the incident.
That's
Sarah
disgusting.
never mentioned it, and I
Can you imagine all the things that they've
silent.
done within that year?
I wasn't ready to propose, but we were doing good. But then things got really bad. I was studying one day when my mom called and asked me to meet her for lunch.
Whoa.
As soon as I saw her, I
That was
could
a
tell
weird
this was
transition.
big news. She hugged me and we sat down at a table. "What's wrong?" I asked her. She seemed slightly agitated, but then she spoke. "I've started dating someone." I was shocked at first, but then I smiled. "That's great, Mom.
Don't
It's
tell
time you
me
met
it's her
someone."
half brother.
"Yes, but it's someone you know," she said mysteriously.
It's the
I
dad.
frowned as I thought
He's gonna
over
be in
who
the
it could
same suit
possibly
and tie
be.
with the same hair.
Who? Your father.
Yo, Faja.
I choked on my cup
Yo,
of water,
Faja!
panic seeping into me all
He's
over
choking
again.
right now.
"He's
choking
coming to
on
the
the
house
truth.
tonight," she said. "We're all going to have dinner together." "What?" I shouted.
Hey.
This was insane. Things couldn't get any worse.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I like where this story is headed. You know, it's just a big fucky wucky. I love where this story is headed right now. Storytime animated. Hey, I'll give you the 2-finger clap right now. This is good. I like this story.
My father, who had been absent for most of my life, was coming to meet me for dinner tonight?
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
what did that mean
awkward.
for Sarah? Would I have to hide my girlfriend from him? How could I possibly do that? "Why are you with him?" I asked my mom. "Well, we started talking, and it feels like the right thing to do," she said. "But he cheated on you and left you on your own," I said.
Yeah,
My
but that
mom
suit and
nodded.
tie.
"Yes, but I still love him. I can't help it." "You can't do this," I said angrily.
Calm down,
My mom
man. Calm
frowned,
down.
and her voice rose as she spoke. "I'll do what I like. You're going to meet your father tonight, and you are going to be civil."
Ooh.
She stood up from
Lay
the
down
table
the
and
law,
walked
Mom.
out of the restaurant.
Lay down that law,
I had no choice.
Mama.
I had to do what she said. I was going to meet my father tonight, whether I liked it or not. Later that evening, my mom and I sat at home as we waited for my dad to arrive. It was 7 o'clock at night, and he was due to arrive at any second. My stomach was full of butterflies. I didn't know how I felt about meeting my dad. My thoughts were solely on Sarah. I didn't know what this
I'm
meant
actually
for
really
us.
interested in this story.
Eventually, the doorbell rang and we stepped up to greet my father.
Like, most of the time, I'm kind of listening and kind of thinking of something to say. But now I'm kind of just like, like, I'm actually thinking about, like, what's going to happen.
My mom swung open the door, only it
Wait. Let's look back. We got Mom.
when we stepped up to
looking
greet my
like
father.
freaking Bigfoot
My mom
at
swung
the
open
door,
the
and then
door.
once it opens,
only
BAM!
It
Same
wasn't
height.
my father.
What happened
It
there?
was
What happened
Sarah.
there?
"What are you doing here?" I burst out. "I left my jacket here," replied Sarah. "I just wanted to pick it up. I hope you don't mind." "Oh, not at all," said my mom. This isn't a great time,"
Yeah,
I said.
It's not.
"Oh, stop it, Brad," scolded my mom.
Wait, his name was Brad the whole time? I thought his name was like Bill.
She pulled Sarah in. "It's quite a special night. Brad's father is coming to visit." I felt anxiety rise up inside me.
Yikes.
If Sarah saw my father and recognized him as her own, everything would fall apart.
This is
I needed to get
disgusting, though,
Sarah
dude.
out of the house before he
The
arrived.
truth shall set you free.
Can you
as
come
they
back
say.
another time? I asked urgently. "Nonsense," said my mom. "I would love it if Sarah met your father." "Yeah, I'd love to," said Sarah.
I'd love to. That doesn't even make sense, like the way she said it. I love to.
I could feel time slipping through my fingers. And then dread coursed through my veins as the doorbell rang for a second time. "Oh, that must be
Trying to
him,"
mimic
said my
his
mom.
heartbeat.
She sounded so
up the
nervous.
intensity.
I felt the same.
Oh, there we go.
No, wait, I said, but too late.
Come on.
My mom
on.
opened the door,
Enter
and sure enough,
both of
there
their
he was.
fathers.
That peppery black hair, the suit and tie.
Same
stepped
suit and
into-
tie. Hey, can we like start a fund to get this man some new wardrobe? Like, come on, man.
To our house and looked first to my mom, then me, then Sarah.
Boy.
"Wait," whispered Sarah.
Wait. 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 This is my favorite story this year.
I didn't look at her. Brad, she said, he is your father? Yes, he is, replied my mom instead. She looked confused. Why? Sarah gasped.
Oh,
this can't be happening.
Oh,
What
it's
is
happening.
it? My mom asked,
And it's been
still
happening for
puzzled.
over, what, 3-4
I
years?
turned to Sarah. She seemed to be having
That's
a panic
disgusting.
attack. Brad, tell me what's happening, said my mom. We have the same dad, I snapped. I breathed heavily, slightly relieved as the truth came out. My father is Sarah's father. My mom raised a hand to her lips in surprise, and my father similarly looked taken aback. Sarah paused for several seconds, but then she darted out the door, past her father, past
Real
my
talk,
father,
this is awkward.
and disappeared out into the street.
She walked so casually out, too. Like, she took her sweet-ass time. She was, like, analyzing everything. She was probably thinking what she's gonna order from Postmates. Like, she took so long to get out that damn door. I would've just been like... Girl over here acting like she's walking the runway at Fashion Week or something.
I rushed after her, ignoring my mom's pleas to stay inside. Finally, I caught up to her and pulled her to the side. Sarah, wait, I said. We're half siblings, she said in a dazed state. I nodded. Yes, but this doesn't have to mean anything. She pulled her arm from my grasp. You knew?
Incest
She
is
said in
wincest?
disbelief. I nodded reluctantly. But this doesn't change
He should
us,
get that
right?
tatted on his
we
chest.
still love each other.
Or his lower back, anywhere.
I don't know,
'Cause he
said
believes
Sarah
it.
in hesitation. Fear shot through me. Oh, come on, Sarah, I said. You don't mean that. Brad, she said, we can't be together. This
Exactly.
isn't right.
Exactly.
No, I cried. Who cares? I do, she said. Brad, I'm breaking up with you. It has to be done.
That should
I
have been
protested,
done the
begging her
moment
to
he
take it
found
back,
out.
to think about how much I loved her.
My man's hella
But she raised her hand.
irresponsible.
No, Brad, she said firmly. This is over. Wait, I started.
Wait.
But
Even he said it. Wait.
she cut me off. I've made up my mind, she said. We're through. Without warning, she bolted, sprinting off into the distance. I rushed after her, but she had disappeared down an alleyway, lost from sight. That was it.
What?
Sarah was gone.
That was the weirdest
Fast
animation
forward to
ever.
now, 5 years later. I've graduated college, and I'm working as the manager of a sports equipment store.
Nice.
After Sarah broke up with me, I
job,
called
dude.
and called her for weeks, but she never picked up.
You'll
And
see her
just
during,
as quickly as she came
Thanksgiving
into
and
my
Christmas,
life,
when the
she
family
left,
meets up.
seemingly without a trace. My mom and dad tried dating for a while, but it didn't work out. And now he's back to doing whatever he was doing, and my mom is at home alone. But I think that's
Why is the
probably for the
music so
best.
upbeat?
Sarah
my mom is
was
home
my
alone,
first
but it
love,
sounds so positive.
and she was my
and
only
uplifting.
sister. When I look back on it now, I always wonder what would have happened if Sarah had never shown me that picture, and if my mom had never gotten back together with my dad. Would Sarah and I have stayed together? Would we have married? Every day, I wonder what would have happened, but I guess I'll never know. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my story, leave a like, subscribe to this channel.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, guys. That was a good story. I'm gonna leave a like on that video, and I don't know. That was actually one of the good ones. Whether it's true or not, hey, at least it was entertaining. I had a good time. Check out Storytime Animated. I'll leave the link to their channel in the description box below. But if you want me to react to any more animations across the internet, make sure you guys give this video one big fat like, and tell a friend today that Jay from the Kubz Scouts is that dude!